I have a friend who's a structural engineer, and he was at a dinner. It was a dinner or a round table or something like that, and one of these industry discussions. And there was a global head of R&D for one of the cement companies. I won't name names, but he was saying, yeah, we've got stuff in the pipeline, low carbon alternatives that are ready to be deployed. Yeah, and the structural engineer said, tell us what they are, because we need to know what the properties are so we can design with them. We need to know so that we can start implementing these sorts of, like, you don't have to deploy them now. We get that, fine, but you at least need to tell us what your direction is so that the people downstream of you can start demanding it. Because this is the thing, it's supply and demand. If the cement industry don't tell people that what they're doing, then they don't think there's anything available, so they don't demand it, so the cement industry don't supply it. And if they don't supply, and all of a sudden you've got this little circle of absolute no change. So that sort of thing, yeah, I do find that frustrating, but it is what it is. And that is to paint with a really broad brush. I will say there are cement plants that are implementing all sorts of really interesting things. There's the lilac and all of these like vertical kilns that produce purer CO2 that make it easier to do that. There is stuff, there is movement, but for sure the system that is in place does not help with that movement. I 100% agree.
So I think that you've just confirmed to me what I already think, is that it's going to take somebody that's outside of that system to come in and say, no, actually, this is what we're going to do. Because when you give that example about that cement firm that is working on something, the way that you presented it to me sounded as though it would make a difference.
Yeah.
Financially, they're thinking, well, we've already got the cash cow.
Yep.
This is now down to money. It's not down to anything else.
Oh, absolutely.
We just need to keep pumping the money out because we need to keep the shareholders happy.
Yeah.
And we need to keep that reputation of our jobs. It's got nothing to do with, are we concerned about the hospital falling down if we use this new product?
Yeah, well, I mean, absolutely. I think there's definitely going to be a monetary component to all of these things, which, maybe won't be the case for long. You have things like CBAM being introduced, where the carbon border adjustment management thing. So if something comes abroad and it's got high CO2 associated with it, that's taxed. Essentially, it's a carbon tariff, basically. I think that's rolling out in 2027. So cement imported from abroad that's got high carbon emissions on it, that will start costing a lot more. And that's when people will start going, oh, geez, this carbon stuff is really costing us. It's really hurting the bottom line. So then you've got that monetary barrier sort of is starting to give way, I think. And I hope to see that happen, really.
I think the thing at the heart of me is I'm looking for that disruptor to come in and say, right, we've created this. We're going to take on the big boys. I use this example all the time and I need to think of a different one. But it's like the Netflix coming in to take on the Blockbuster.
Yeah.
That then turns into, Blockbusters like we've gone.
Yeah.
Or we think we've just been so far behind, so focused on let's keep the system so that we can keep the money, that actually now we've lost the money, because the way to innovate effectively is to cannibalize yourself. Yeah, you need to reinvent yourself.
Yeah, you've got to be happy to lose something.
By destroying yourself.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean, I would love to see it. I would love to see it. But like I said, I mean, at the core, we're still going to be using limestone and clay, because why would we not? We're still going to need these kilns. We're still going to need to do something that's very similar. So I suppose I would love to see something that disruptive come in and really make a change. But I mean, that in and of itself, being a disruptor, is a barrier to implementing that change. I suppose, our ideology is to be less disruptive and just sort of sneak in there. Sneak in there without anyone knowing, and then got you. You're decarbonised. Didn't even see it happen. Now it's happened. Carry on as you were.